it is Sunday, September 12th, 2021. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to my New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Sunday puzzle today, the largest grid of the week, and therefore almost always the longest solve of the week. That's certainly true in my case, and I suspect most people's. Before we solve this puzzle, I want to address a couple of clues from yesterday, as is my wont. Stephen Norrie explains, he fills me in. He says, just a comment on the ball with a yellow stripe clue to assist with your sports knowledge. You were wondering how things would fit in the traditional triangle formation, but in 9-ball pool, the balls are racked up in a diamond configuration. In 9-ball pool, there are just 9 numbered balls, and each player attempts to pot the titular 9-ball, whilst only being able to hit the lowest numbered ball remaining on the table with the cue ball. In 8-ball, confusingly, there are 15 balls racked up. In this game, the balls are split into the 1 to 7 group, solid colors, and the 9 to 5 group, striped, with the black 8-ball being the key to the game. Each player has to pot all the balls in their color/number group first, and then pot the 8-ball. And then, could be pronouncing this wrong, but Yana N replies, and the colors of 1 to 7 and 9 to 15 are in the same order. For example, 1 is solid yellow, and 9 has a yellow stripe. So there we go. That's handy and may well come in to play again in a future crossword. I also speculated about, well, I didn't speculate so much as I ruminated aloud as to the meaning of SFO, the 3-letter airport abbreviation for San Francisco International Airport. Joel Goldfarb speculated that it might have stood for San Francisco Oakland International. I did some research on this, and apparently it doesn't. It actually is simply the O from the end of San Francisco. When airports around the world were choosing their 3-letter abbreviations, often they didn't have a very obvious letter, which is why you get things like LAX for Los Angeles International. Apparently, a number of airports simply appended an X on the end because they couldn't think of anything better. In San Francisco's case, they added an O. It doesn't seem that there's absolutely conclusive evidence as to why, but the most common assumption seems to be that it was simply from the end of San Francisco. And Joel Goldfarb also points out that Cape Cod-style homes, that was a term with which I was unfamiliar, Cape Cod-style homes are all over the Northeast. Most were built up until the 1950s. The steep stairwell took you upstairs to 2 bedrooms with slanted walls, making it very impractical for adults to be able to stand up. Very common here in London to have loft conversions or dormer conversions in the top floor under the eaves of the roof. And so you will often get bedrooms, or in some cases even reception rooms, built in those areas with ceilings that slant very sharply and do not allow standing up. So yes, indeed. And that's it. That's all I have, I think, in terms of corrections or not so much corrections, but context, new knowledge for me from yesterday. So let's move on to this puzzle by Alex Rosen, edited as always by Will Shorts, and as always, on a Sunday, we have a title. What a character. Perhaps a character of the alphabet, a letter of the alphabet maybe, is what this means. Maybe some other character farther afield. We can see some circles poking through the privacy veil here, indicating probably some sort of theme mechanic. Anyway, let's not speculate any further. Let's start solving. Are we ready to get started? Okay. They come with bouquets. So I think, do wines and spirits have bouquets, or wines at least? Sometimes called the nose as well, I think. I don't know. It could be wines. I mean, obviously the more obvious meaning of bouquet is flowers, but they come with bouquets. I don't know. Here we have away, apart. I mean, I could imagine a number of things. Blank put our heads together. I would suspect we'll put our heads together. Let's check the crosses on that. How Alaska ranks first among the states. Widest, perhaps? I'm guessing because of the W. Let's try it. Let's check those crosses and see. It's often left on the table. I wonder if this means left as in right or left. It's often left on the table. What sort of table could this be? Could it be a table of data, and there's something that's on the sort of left running down, maybe? Not sure. I'm sort of jumping all over the place. What vey of oive translates to? I don't know. Blank Games, company behind Fortnite. Okay, well, this isn't well because that's Epic Games, the company behind Fortnite. Recently in the news because of a lawsuit they filed against Apple. So, what is this? It's not wheel. I was thinking maybe let's put our heads together. If we put our heads together. That was odd that I went out on that limb and typed in an answer. That was sort of strange given now, in retrospect, how many things it could have been. Probably shouldn't have taken a guess. All right, so let's go back here. How Alaska ranks first among the states. Iciest? I mean, that surely must be true. It's often left on the table. A fork is placed on the left side of a table setting, a table mat. And then put one's nose where it doesn't belong. Could be snoop, which means once again, my Alaska suspicion is incorrect. So let's see. How Alaska ranks first among the states. I mean, if this were ist, because it's first among, well, no, I guess it doesn't need to be that, because it ranks first in a quality. It is, yeah, in a given quality, I mean. I'm probably wrong in terms of putting that ist there. This probably isn't a superlative. It's the property itself, of which Alaska is superlative, is the most. So, yeah, I don't actually know. Let's just keep looking around. So what is this again? What vey of oive translates to? Wow, perhaps? Phenomenon such as the tendency to see human forms in inanimate objects. Personification? What is this? Anthropomorphism? I mean, that doesn't fit. That's not right anyway, I don't think. Let's keep looking around. Singer-drummer Collins, Phil Collins, I suppose, puts pressure on. Rey to Luke Skywalker. I don't know. What is Rey to Luke Skywalker? Student? Sword handles, hilts. Einstein, sarcastically. An idiot, I suppose? You sort of sarcastically say, nice one, Einstein, not so smart after all. I can say that to myself often solving this crossword. Tilt-a-whirl, e.g., would be a ride. Oh, wait, what is this Luke Skywalker thing? What is this? A protege, perhaps? There we go. That sounds correct. So here we have gin product, cotton, from a cotton gin. Machinery, as opposed to gin the spirit, puts pressure on, leans on. There we go. And then let's see, what is this? Fits together. Hosts or fits together? Why am I not seeing that? Blank pass go. Do not pass go. Is this? Oh, nests together. Oops, I spelled protege wrong. What was I doing? Protege. Sorry, I spelled that oddly. Protege. Incorrect. So nests is fit together. And let's see. What was this? Oh, this is Alaska again. What about this? What can make men swear from menswear? Is it something that fits too tightly or something? Not sure. Let's go back to our acrosses. I think we haven't seen them all. Away, cell component. Cell component. Is this sort of biologically a cell, perhaps? Not sure. Pal in Peru. Could it be Amigo or something? Organization that flew a helicopter on Mars in 2021. Wow. Was it NASA? I hope it was NASA. Move obliquely. To slink, perhaps? So if this were NASA, and then here we have fail to mention, I mean, that could be omit. So actually, instead of slink, this could be sidle, which is better anyway for move obliquely. So that's probably correct. Here we have away, could be not in, without stopping, information, old style, rounded quarters. Oh, I forgot about Amigo. So information, old style. Tidings. Tidings. Rounded quarters. Igloos. Quarters, in other words, living environments. And igloos often rounded. Sorry, Charlie. No dice, perhaps? No dice, Charlie. And then what was this? Without stopping, no end. Yes, sometimes it feels as though Sunday crosswords go on for no end. They go on no end. Foreman, who directed One Floor Over the Cuckoo's Nest. This is Miłosz Forman, I believe that's how it's pronounced. Miłosz, I believe. Also directed Amadeus, one of the truly great films. What was this? Any of the groupings of circled letters in this puzzle. Punctuation mark. So I bet, oops, oh no, I'm making a hash of this. So this looks like a period or a full stop. This looks like an apostrophe or a single quotation mark. Wow, here we have a parenthesis, I suppose. Could I type that in? Let's try this out. PARENTHESIS. That fits. So this could be a hyphen. Oh, this is a semicolon. It's a two-part thing. I love it. So does it go this way, maybe? It could go this way. Sometimes this sort of clue would sort of follow a clockwise pattern, so it would be like this. But because that's not how these are well, I suppose parenthesis is following sort of a clockwise pattern, but I bet this is this way. Actually, let's look at the clue. The clue, brunch beverage, yes, mimosa. So there we go, that fills that. And then this would be colon, so probably this way, I suspect. And does that down work? Saturn has more than 80 of them. Moons, yes. And title for Tussaud is Madame Tussaud, the waxworks creator, Victorian era waxworks creator, who now has an international chain of wax museums in her name. Does gentle stretching post-exercise with down. Comes down, I think, is what that is. Anyway, I think we've confirmed these are correct. That's great. What a fun theme. I wonder if there will be more answers tying into it. This should satisfy some of my recurring commenters who are extremely upset every time I figure out a theme and then don't go ahead and fill in all of the cells that could be filled in based on the knowledge of that theme. So this is for you, commenters, who are, I suppose, understandably irritated by that oversight of mine. So ancient prefix would be paleo. I'm just going to piggyback on some of these crosses that I have now, thanks to having filled in the theme answers. Soul seller of legend. Faust, I suppose, sells a soul to the devil. Half-baked, rare, perhaps. What is this? Syracuse Mets and Worcester Red Sox for 2. AAA teams, I guess. This looks like leapfrog, jump over, leapfrog. Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to be able to get a lot of fill in this puzzle pretty quickly now that we have so many crosses. What was this again? Oh, how Alaska ranks first among the states in area. There we go. Finally. Only my 4th attempt, I think. Finally got it. And then, what is this? Oh. Whoa. Whoa, as in woe is me, I suspect is what oy vey. That makes much more sense than wow. Yeah, you'd say oy vey. Oh, this situation, I can't handle it. What can make men swear from menswear? Space something, I assume. Periodolia sounds right here. I certainly wouldn't have been able to pull that out of my hat, but it does feel right to me somehow, but I don't know what this is. What can make men swear from menswear? Have a good cry, sob. Spacebar? Oh, very clever. Very clever. Sort of slightly related to the theme, if you consider a space to be punctuation, which I don't really think it is, but it's it's lightly related to the theme. Putting the space bar, hitting the space bar after men in menswear creates men swear. Very, very clever. One of the brothers in Malcolm in the Middle must be Reese, based on this fill. Everything happened so fast. It's a blur. It's a blur entering these clues after filling out all of these theme crosses. Poll in the I am once again asking meme must be Bernie Sanders. Amp knob. Well, an amp would have a volume knob, but it's not this, even though it would fit if this were not Bernie, but Bernal, which I don't think it is. Midsummer director Aster, that's Ari Aster, director of Midsummer and Hereditary. Messes up, errs, commits an error. Not at all popular. Hated, I suppose. Blank Ryerson, insurance salesman in Groundhog Day. Ned Ryerson. Remember me? I don't remember everything he says, but he's the guy who eventually gets decked by Bill Murray's character in Groundhog Day. French pronoun, probably Louis for him. ER inserts could be IVs, intravenous lines. He performed 636 consecutive sold-out shows in Vegas from 1969 to 76. Must be Elvis. We have Vegas here, which is a sort of an abbreviated form of Las Vegas. So Elvis, his sort of popular name, as opposed to his full name, Elvis Presley. Amp knob, treble, as in treble and bass. There we go. And bits on book jackets are by Yo's, so I got this wrong. Sorry about that. So it's not Louis, which came up in a puzzle. Actually, I just realized that I have not yet published to the channel, so I can't reference it. But is actually toi, for you in French. The second person singular pronoun there. And it may run from an emotional situation. Tear duct, perhaps? Nope, doesn't fit. We'll come back to it. We have so many crosses to take advantage of. We're spoiled for choice. X, Y, and Z are axes on a Cartesian plotted graph. Where charity begins in a phrase is at home. A fragrant compound is an ester. That comes up occasionally in the crossword. By birth could be né, the French for born. So someone who changes their name after marriage might be listed. They might have their sort of married name, then né, then the name with which they were born. Chaotic skirmish is a melee. To die like the wicked witch of the West is to melt. I'm melting, she cries. Voice actor blank is Mel Blanc or Mel Blanc. I actually don't know which way it's pronounced. I think Mel Blanc probably. Voiced many famous, I think Warner Brothers cartoon characters. Show with over 1,000 handwritten cue cards each week for short. Well, I didn't know this fact, but based on the length and fill, must be SNL, Saturday Night Live. Room and clue, I guess the hall? I don't remember the rooms and clues, but that looks like what it would be. Farm female would be a hen. An epiphany would be an aha moment. Quarter blank when the big hand is at 3. When the big hand is at 3, that's 3 o'clock, right? What does that mean? Sorry, I'm not sure. Digs up is exhumes. Boring is ho-hum. Munch in modern slang is nom, I guess, sort of online slang. Card game with a PG-rated name. Card game with a PG-rated name. So a name that's safe for children? What is that getting at? Is it O something? It may be smoked. Smoked ham, I guess. My word, I say. Stamp is what this would be. 77 down is on the most collected stamp in U.S. history. Elvis is on the most collected stamp. I had no idea about that. So maybe you don't come down from an exercise with gentle stretching. You cool down. That's probably better. And then that would make this card game, oh hell. I see. Okay. So a sort of light bit of profanity. Not rated G for everybody, but rated PG for parental guidance suggested. Golf course machine, a mower, perhaps? Ne'er-do-wells, low-lifes. Rocka-blank Records, Rockefeller Records. Is that Jay-Z's company, maybe? One who consumes a ritual meal to absolve the souls of the dead. I'm not sure offhand. We'll come back to it. To fight tooth and nail. Probably to claw, I suppose. Let's see. Plant said to repel bugs. I'm not sure, but we have a lot going on up here. Let's jump back up here and see. Savory Chinese snacks. Not sure. Farm refrain, E-I-E-I-O, Old MacDonald, from Old MacDonald, the children's nursery rhyme song. Weight of a paperclip, roughly a gram, sounds right and looks correct. Word with level or lion. Sea lion, sea level. Yep, there we go. They await your return, in brief. The IRS, the Internal Revenue Service in the United States, that collects your tax return. Savory Chinese snacks, something eggs. And the leading medal winner at the Tokyo Olympics. I guess the USA usually is. Okay. Team GB, though, from the UK, did quite well this year, and at the Paralympics, even better. Eastern cicada killers, e.g. Don't know that. Suggestions. Said blank ever, said no one ever, I guess, goes the common online sort of joke format. School. Could be a verb or a noun. Resolves out of court would be settles. Let's see. They come with bouquets. Oh, maybe it is wines, my first guess. Cell component. I have anodes and diodes on the brain, but I don't know if that's applicable here. Oh, Eastern cicada killers are wasps. I see. Suggestions. Input. I see. And then school is educate. Oh, so anode was the case. I was wondering if that cell wasn't specific enough to something electronic, but fair enough. So here we have an arm held up with bent elbow and a wrist in a children's song, a spout, as in I'm a little teapot. Is there anything else we haven't seen? Incredible bargains. Yeah, okay, I didn't look at that one. That's steals. Makes sense. So smoking and swearing are vices. See ya is I'm out, maybe. Duck and goose at times. Duck and goose are verbs. Yes, that's clever. Okay, that sort of thing came up recently with something, two clues that were both verbs. Music's most malign genre, per critic Tom Connick. I don't know, emo, I guess, based on the Phil. Blank Gone Wrong, 2021 film. Don't recognize this at all. I don't know. Is it out now? No clue. Cause of undue anxiety. Not sure. Blank 17, World War II film Stalag 17. City hazard is smog. So what was this? Group dance popularized in the U.S. by Desi Arnaz. That was he was Lucille Ball's husband. The conga line, perhaps, that fits. There we go. All right, I had no idea. Learned something new today, as is often the case with the crossword. Blank gone wrong. Could it be Ron's gone wrong? I mean, that sort of has an assonance to it. A cause of undue anxiety, I guess, is a bugaboo. A purse is a bag. A table part is a leg. City whose police cars are adorned with a witch logo. Salem? From the Salem witch trials, perhaps? Had no idea. Carpenter's wedge is a shim. The future Henry V to Falstaff. Not sure offhand. Give 0 stars is to pan. Burn prevention measures. SPF, sun protection factor. You'll see that figure on sunscreen. Plant said to repel bugs. Frisian? I don't know. Golf course machine. Mower? Right, maybe it is mower. What was this? Have we seen this yet? No longer current source for current events. Newsreel. Yes, very outdated concept. Newsreels would play with feature films in the cinema. All right, let's see. Have we here? Look, no, we haven't. Green vehicle could be an eco car, I guess. Not really a thing anyone says. Almost an E answer. It's in the spirit of an E answer by appending a common prefix like eco to anything, even though no one really says eco car. I don't think, anyway. French port on the English Channel is Calais, right across on the French side. Oh, here's our theme. Here's Lyell's Law. You have your sort of central theme descriptor positioned towards the lower part of the grid in the across section. How to see the image formed by this puzzle's circled letters. The image formed by this. Oh, it's an emoticon. It's a winky happy face emoticon, which is the semicolon, the hyphen, and the right parenthesis. So we see it, what, turned on one side or something, rotated 90 degrees or to the on its side. I don't know. I'm probably not going to get that. We'll come back to it. But rotated is probably correct. It may run from an emotional situation. No, maybe not. Am I wrong about Calais? Surely not. Make restitution. Oh. Amend? Atone. Sorry, that was a T. So here we have Frank rotated. Frank, oh, wiener. Frank, meaning a frankfurter, a hot dog. Hot mulled punch traditionally drunk around Christmas. Wassail. Yes. Duke's organization. Could be a sports thing. Quarter blank when the big hand is at 3. Why am I not seeing this? That's driving me crazy. Moi. Kissing? I don't know. Departed by plane. Flew off, perhaps? Oh, quarter after. Oh, sorry. Boy, I'm silly sometimes. I kept thinking the big hand, and weirdly in my brain I was picturing the small hand, the hours hand, because often it's, even though it's shorter, it's often thicker to sort of counter the longer size of the seconds hand. So I was imagining the hours hand, which is again the shorter one, but often more squat, as the big one, which is completely incorrect. The big hand is the minutes hand. So of course, quarter after is when the minutes hand is at 3, 15 minutes later. Sorry, sure there was some yelling going on at me through the screen for that one. All right, let's see. What have we not looked at yet? Like the Minotaur legend. Is that Cretan? Perhaps. Let's see. Bacteria destroyer. Don't know. Pasta topper. I don't know. Sauce. Pesto, maybe, for something less obvious. Like the dog days of summer. Humid, I suppose, right? That's sort of what that's about. 2 things. Addresses? Probably ends in S. Part of UCLA. Well, UCLA is the University of California at Los Angeles. So Angeles fits there. Plant said to repel bugs. Oh, fleabane. Fleabane. There we go. Fashion designer Jeffrey. Bean, I think, rings a bell here. I think I've seen that name. Bacteria destroyer. Oh, a phage. Acrobatic could be agile. 2 things. It is our favorite form of poetry, the ode. I think probably the most famous, to a Grecian urn. Let's see. Domino, e.g., is a tile used in games. Pasta topper. Oh, it is pesto. What do you know? What's formed by the circled letters in this puzzle? A smile emoticon. But what is this? Smiley face? A smiley face. Yes, there we go. Sorry. University of Oregon site must be Eugene. What else could it be with that, Phil? Where the lacrimal glands can be found. Your eyes, as in your lacrimose, your weeping, which is what I thought this was going to be. It may run from an emotional situation. Why am I not getting that still? Vaccine approving agency in the United States, that would be the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration. Dino's tail could be dinosaur, the tail added to dino. Verbally. Martinez with a statue outside the Seattle Mariners Stadium. I'm actually not sure, but here we have another pasta topper, and this one is ragu, a sauce, a meaty sauce. So maybe Edgar Martinez, and then here we have, one who consumes a ritual meal to absolve the souls of the dead, a sin eater. That actually sounds familiar now that I see it. Okay. We're live, studio sign. We're live, we're on air. Ancient land in Asia Minor. I'll have to come back to that. It'll probably be more obvious with another cross or 2. Makes less powerful in video game slang. This would be nerfs to sort of make something, as in the way that nerf weapons are kind of foam and therefore not actually damaging, make something less damaging, colloquially, nerf it. Domino, e.g. So we had domino, e.g. as tile somewhere, didn't we? I already forget where that is, but anyway, it was in this puzzle. So what else would domino be? Fats domino? I don't know. Muse of love poetry would be eroto, right? Not exactly, or so. That's sort of estimated figure. Pump some weights could be to lift. What was this? It may run, oh, mascara may run from an emotional situation. Sorry, once again, French pronoun incorrect. It was not lui, it was not toi, it was moi. First person pronoun for me. Sorry. Oof. I had a similar situation with something else up where I kept having to revise it. It may run from an emotional situation, mascara. And then here we have rotate clockwise. Should have guessed that. Duke's organization, don't know. Moi. Something kiss, but what is this? I don't know. I'm sorry. Do I have something else wrong? Maybe. Faint color could be a tinge, maybe. Take me blank. Take me aside. Approaches could be nears. You near something, you approach it. Arises from. Maybe it's not flew off. Maybe it's flew out. Because arises could be stems from. A domino, e.g. An augur, could you use it to sort of forecast something? Ancient land in Asia Minor. Manoa, like the Minotaur legend, maybe this is Cretan. What would this be? Duke's organization, ACC. I hope this is some sort of athletic league or something. Take me as I am. There we go. And then what was this? Oh, moi is an air kiss. So the Asia Minor land is Ionia. Yes, okay, that's correct. And then domino is sugar. Is that a brand of sugar, maybe? There we go. So that was actually, as far as Sunday solves on this series go, that was a pretty speedy one. There's a little bit of alliteration for you. That came together, I think, quite smoothly after grabbing the theme. This was a nice Sunday theme in the sense that it was clever. It involved some interesting geometry and a sort of fun gimmick to spot, but it wasn't, which is often true, for instance, a Thursday theme, but it wasn't a brutal puzzle. It was pretty straightforward. Once you see the theme, you can pretty much enter in the theme clues quickly. They give you a lot of crosses. They help you speed through the very large Sunday grid more quickly. I mean, this is exactly what I want from a Sunday, to be totally honest with you. I think I've said in the past that often I can find Sunday puzzles, even a good Sunday puzzle can be a slog. It's just a lot of fill. You have to enter a lot of answers. And I find that to be exhausting sometimes. But here we had this nice theme that really did allow us to speed through this grid once they were filled in. And the theme it was very clever and very well constructed, but didn't hide itself away. Fairly straightforward. So nice, a very nice Sunday puzzle. What a character indeed. So the characters in question are these 3 bits of punctuation, the semicolon, hyphen, and parentheses, and then we rotate them clockwise to create a smiley face. So yeah, a fun puzzle. And boy, it really does rely on being able to construct these characters out of this precise number of letters. I mean, I suppose you have a bit of leeway with parentheses because, you could remove, say, the middle cell if the word were shorter and sort of crimp it together a bit. But the fact that it's an odd number of letters does allow it to be vertically symmetrical in the grid, which wouldn't. I guess it still would be possible. You could still make it symmetrical with an even number. It would just no, you couldn't. You couldn't make it symmetrical in the grid unless the grid also had an even number of cells vertically, which I suppose you could do. Sorry, I'm just going off on nonsense here. Anyway, my point just being that this is sort of a fun thing for Alex Rosen, the constructor, to have happened upon, because it does, to some extent, rely on these punctuation marks being referred to by words that basically fit the lengths that are needed. So well done. And the semicolon is fun, it being split across two shapes. So yes, I enjoyed this a lot. How did you feel? Yesterday's puzzle was another relatively divisive one, which is not surprising on a Saturday, given Saturdays tend to be difficult. A number of people struggled with the same areas that I did. Some people the opposite, though, so you never know. So how did you do with What a Character by Alex Rosen? I liked it. I hope you did as well. And I hope you liked the video. I hope you liked watching this solve. If so, please consider subscribing to the series so that you will see these solves as they go up on the channel each morning. And presumably, the more of you subscribe, the more often this will be recommended in the YouTube algorithm, and fill the YouTube algorithm with fun, low-key crossword solves. We can only hope. And maybe you know someone who might enjoy this series. They can subscribe to it and help get this thing into the algorithm there. You never know. Give it a shot. And finally, if you're particularly enjoying this series and you'd like to help contribute to its ongoing sustainability, I am accepting donations through my Ko-fi page, linked in the description field under each video, on a one-off or monthly recurring basis. As I mentioned, I am in the process of putting a Patreon together. Hopefully that will be up soon. That will allow you also to pledge on a monthly basis and then see a bit of bonus content I'm putting up, other ideas I'm trying to conceive at the moment. I will also, of course, make that available to those of you who pledge monthly through Ko-fi. So thank you to everybody who has done so. All right, so that concludes this crossword solving week. At least I always think of Sunday as being the last day of the crossword week as opposed to the first day. Personally, the first day for me is Monday, the nice, easy, gentle puzzle that eases us into things. I always look forward to that. It's always a nice palate cleanser after the week. I hope you are as well, and I hope you join me for it here on the channel. Until then, have an excellent rest of your Sunday. Take care.